All right, guys, welcome to our pre-competition follow-along mobility flow. The purpose of these exercises is just to get you prepped and ready to go. If you're feeling a bit stiff, just to help loosen up any of those kind of stiff joints that you have. You will need a band, but that's all. So the first thing that we're going to do is our pull aparts. Now we're going to do 30 reps of this. The wider apart your hands are, the easier it is. So the closer you bring your hands in, the more resistance you're going to have on the band. Now, we're keeping our elbows tight and we're just pulling and squeezing our shoulder blades together at the back. So in your own time and throughout this video, you may need to hit pause while you complete your reps. That's totally fine. You're going to do 30 reps. Now, these can be as fast as you want. The goal here is to just get some blood flowing to your upper back and your shoulders. So if you haven't yet done your 30 reps, hit pause and complete those ones. Now, next up, we've got our dislocates. So same thing, the wider your hands are, the easier this is. So find a position that is challenging for your hands, but that you can complete the reps. We want to keep our elbows straight. We're elevating our shoulders as we go into our rotation, going all the way around to the back. Now, we don't need to go that slowly. You can go a little faster if you want, but we do want to make sure that there's enough tension on the band that we're actually eliciting some kind of stimulus. So really think about keeping this intentional and at the shoulder joint. We don't want to be flaring our ribs too much or sticking our bum out too much. So trying to keep those pulled down and really just working those shoulders. You're going to do 10 to 20 of these. So hit pause if you haven't yet done that many reps, and we'll come back to it. The next one we're going to do is a body weight only book opener. So we're going to lay down on the ground on our side with our knees stacked on top of each other, our other hand on top of our knee. From here, if you want, and you've got a towel or something to prop under your head, you can do so. We're going to reach around, trying to trace our fingers on the ground, coming all the way around to the other side, and then back again. Now, you're going to do 5 reps of this as slowly as you feel you need. So hit pause, get those ones done, 5 reps on each side. All right, now we've got our thoracic openers, but this time we're going to do them with our band. So you're laying down on the ground, similar to position to before, something that's comfortable. You can have your bottom leg straight if you want. From here, the further away your hands are, again, the easier it's going to be. So finding that resistance that works for you. We're going to be going across our body, but this time we're bringing in a little bit of shoulder and upper back strength with the resistance of the band. Now, I want you to do 10 to 15 of these on each side. Really trying to get your shoulder down to the ground on each rep. And then obviously you'll switch sides and do the other side. So 10 to 15 of those on each side till you're feeling nice and warm through the thoracic. Now the next one we're going to do, we're going to be sitting in this pike position here. You're going to loop one end of the band around your feet. From here, you're going to grab onto both sides of the band, bringing your other hand behind your back and passing it to that hand. From there, we're going to allow the band to pull us around into this rotation, and then we're going to pull back against it. Pulling around, and then coming back, and then you're going to change sides. We're going to do about 10 of these on each side. If you're lucky, you might feel a few little cracks happening in that upper back, mid-back region. Totally fine, probably feels great. So around 10 of those on each side with your band. Again, you can adjust the resistance based on where you hold the band for what works well for you at the time. Now we're going to do a passive hamstring stretch. So we're coming down into this position here. We're going to just pop the band. So it's just over both sides there. I'm not looping it. Got the middle of the band, both sides on my leg, and I'm going to pull my leg as close to me as I can, making sure I'm keeping that knee straight. From here, I'm going to pull into it, other knee's bent, and then I'm going to let go, and I'm going to try to hold my leg in that same position for 5 seconds. Then I'm going to grab the band, I'm going to pull it a little bit lower, keeping that knee straight, pulling it for 5 seconds. Then I'm going to let go of the band and try to maintain that position for 5 seconds. So you're going to do 5 rounds of that on each side. So you're pulling it for 5 seconds, and then you're letting go of the band and making your leg do the work to maintain that position for 5 seconds. Do that 5 times on each leg, then come back to me. Hello. Now the next one we're going to do is a bit of a hamstring inner range, sort of switching the muscle on. Now if you get a bit of cramping happening here, ease off a little bit. Right before a competition is not the time to be cramping, so just do it to your capabilities. We just want to be waking them up, that's all. So if you're cramping too much, just skip this exercise or just skip the hamstring part of it. So we're going to come into this lunge or half kneeling position, looping your foot into one end of the band. We're going overhead. So from here, we're going to push forward, so we're getting that nice stretch in our hip flexor. Then we're going to use the band to pull our foot up towards our bum. We're going to continue with this stretch here for 10 seconds. And then what we're going to do, which is where the cramping is going to come in, so skip this part. If you cramp, just skip it for now, that's fine. But what we're going to do is release the band. See, the band is released, and trying to hold your foot at that same position. So trying to pull my heel towards my bum. We're going to hold that for 5 seconds before pulling back into that passive stretch. So my leg is no longer doing the work. I'm allowing the band to pull it up. So you're going to go through that 5 times on each side. So we're pushing through, we're pulling with the band for 10 seconds, and then we're letting go of the band but trying to maintain our heel nice and close to our bum for 5 seconds. Do that 5 times on each side. Like I said, in that active hold, if you're feeling a cramp in your hamstring, skip that part and just do the passive stretch. We can work on that later, but right before competition is not the time to be cramping. And our last one is our 90-90 straddle to step. So we're going to start in this straddle position here. I'll show you from sort of the side angle. What we want to do when we come through to the straddle is really roll our pelvis forward, okay? So as we come through the middle, and you'll see in a moment, we're going to roll the pelvis forward. So we're going to start in this straddle position. We're going to pull both our heels in together at the same time. We're going to come up into this 90-90, then we're going to step through and forward. Coming back, knee goes back behind, sitting back down, out into a straddle, roll the pelvis forward, coming back, knees come together, pushing up, stepping through. Really trying to work this ankle, the back leg hip, both hips in fact, knee goes back down, back into our straddle. Maybe don't do this on a yoga mat. Back to the other side, sitting up, stepping through. So you're going to do that 10 to 20 times in total, just kind of whatever feels good for you. It is also going to help your heart rate come up a little bit and just get your hips feeling nice and loose, and then you can really move into some more of the drilling that you're going to be doing before your match. So I hope you enjoyed that. Feel free, all of these things here aren't intended to find new range. We're just intending to get some blood flow moving to the joints and get you feeling good so that you can bring your best game.